Welcome to the Spoonie Ninja Podcast, Living on Borrowed Spoons. This is a quiet, honest space for living with chronic illness, parenting through it, and finding humor where we can. Hi, I'm Tess, also known as the Spoonie Ninja. I'm a chronic illness advocate, author, and mom. And I live with multiple chronic conditions. Living on Borrowed Spoons is a space for real conversations about illness, mental health, parenting, relationships, and surviving systems that weren't built for us. You don't need to be strong here. You just need to be human. Thanks for spending your time with me. Now, let's dive into the podcast. Episode 2. The Day Your Body Betrays You. Grief, rage, and rebuilding identity. There's a moment most chronically ill people remember clearly. Not the diagnosis, not the test results. The moment where you realize that your body is no longer on your side. It doesn't happen all at once. It sneaks up on you. One day you notice that you're tired in a way that sleep doesn't touch. And then you start planning your day around symptoms instead of wants. Then suddenly, without ceremony, your body becomes something that you have to manage instead of trust. That's the day that things change. People call it a health journey, which is optimistic language for something that feels more like being pushed out of a moving car and told to adapt on impact, because this isn't just physical, it's identity level. No one prepares you for the grief. Not the big, dramatic grief, the quiet, daily kind. The grief of realizing that you can't do things the way that you used to. The grief of watching your energy disappear by noon. The grief of having to explain to yourself when you didn't used to have to explain anything. You grieve the version of you who you didn't think about, the one who didn't think about their body at all. And you don't resent them, but you do miss them. There's also rage. We don't talk about that part, though. The anger that comes when your body doesn't respond to effort. When trying harder does nothing. When rest feels mandatory instead of earned. You can love your body and still be furious with it. Both things can exist. Anyone who tells you otherwise, they haven't lived here. What makes this kind of betrayal especially cruel is that it's internal. There's no villain you can point to. You can't storm out. You can't cut contact. You can't take space. You wake up every day inside the thing that keeps hurting you. And people wonder why you're tired. At first, you try to bargain. You tell yourself, if I just manage better, if I stay positive, if I just don't think about it. You don't want to lose yourself. So you cling to who you were. And that's normal. That's grief doing what grief does. Eventually, though, something sets in. Acceptance. Not the Instagram kind. The kind that says, okay, there are rules now. Not because you like them. And not because you agree. But because you don't have the energy to fight reality every single day. That's choosing survival. Here's the quiet truth. You don't rebuild your identity all at once. You rebuild it in fragments, in boundaries that you didn't need before, in accommodations that you resist, and you will, in learning that worth is not measured by being productive. You don't become someone new. You become someone who adjusts. There's a strange relief that comes with that. Not happiness. Relief. Relief that you stop chasing the version of yourself that no longer exists. Relief that you stop apologizing for what your body needs. Relief that you stop explaining your exhaustion like it's a moral failure. And yes, there's humor here too. Because sometimes the only way to survive betrayal is to name the absurdity of it. To look at your body and say, wow, bold choice. To laugh when the alternative is literally losing your mind. But that doesn't mean you're healed. It just means that you're still here. And if you're in the middle of this, if your body has changed the rules and you're still trying to catch up, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not weak for grieving yourself. You're not being dramatic for being angry. And you're not failing because you haven't accepted it yet. This isn't a lesson. It's a loss. And losses take time. One day, the anger does soften. Not because it disappears, but because it stops being the loudest voice in the room. You don't forget who you were. You just stop needing to be them. That's not defeat. That's evolution. Until next time, my amazing warriors, I'm sending you spoons, sharpened or spared, depending on the day. Thank you for being a part of my ninja clan.